This is Shondell Jackson. He's in the Milwaukee County Courthouse for his sentencing after being convicted of murdering a university student. Reportedly, 18-year-old Jackson and his friend were hunting for victims when they saw Nathan Potter leave a bar. Potter, a 21-year-old college student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, was stalked, accosted, and demanded money. When Jackson learned that Potter didn't have any cash, he shot and killed him. Officials said Jackson fled to Mississippi the day after Potter's murder. Jackson's uncle reportedly tipped off the police about his whereabouts, leading to his arrest. During the trial, Jackson made gestures towards the victim's family. As he was escorted out of the courtroom, he was seen smiling at them. Moments before sentencing, Jackson's mother told the court she first heard about the killing on TV.
When I saw it on the news, I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
Jackson now apologizes for his actions, stating, "I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me." When the judge announced life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, Jackson had an outburst. Deputies restrained Jackson as one of his family members screamed to the victim's family. While Jackson serves life in prison without parole, his friend pleaded guilty to acting as the lookout and received a 12-year sentence. This is Mackenzie Sherilla. She is a 17-year-old who was found guilty of murder for causing a car crash that killed her boyfriend and his friend.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
Sherilla's boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, Davin Flanagan, were in the car when she crashed into the side of a commercial building outside of Cleveland at 100 mph. Both men were pronounced dead at the scene, while Sherilla survived. Prosecutors argued that Sherilla had been involved in a toxic relationship and had made violent threats against her boyfriend.
She tried to break into his house?
Correct.
Reportedly, she crashed her car deliberately because she wanted to kill her boyfriend, with his friend becoming collateral damage. The prosecutor stated that the intent was obvious upon reviewing the video evidence.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
Days before the crash, she allegedly took the same route to plan the crime. The judge found her guilty on both counts.
Count one. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Sherilla, guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo.
Sherilla stood up to be placed in handcuffs, tearfully listening to the judge announce her sentencing.
Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Sherilla, guilty of murder, to wit Davion Flanagan.
The families of Dom and Davion, I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count 1, 15 years to life. Count 2, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
She was sentenced to 15 years to life for each count, to be served concurrently. This is Jennifer Mee in the Pinellas County Justice Center. At 19 years old, she was arrested on charges of first-degree murder. But this wasn't the first time Mee grabbed the public's attention. When she was 15 years old, she gained international fame as the Hiccup Girl when she developed a case of uncontrollable hiccups. However, interest in her waned after her hiccups were cured, until she was arrested. Mee was accused of setting up a robbery with victims she had met online. Reportedly, she recruited Lamont Newton, her boyfriend at the time, and another friend, Lauren Rayford, to help rob victims. Mee met up with a 22-year-old man she encountered online, lured him to a vacant home, and with her friends, robbed and fatally shot him. They stole $50 from the robbery and murder. Me, Rayford, and Newton all lived together and were arrested within hours of the crime. During her initial arrest, Me had a phone call with her mother from jail.
This call may be recorded or monitored. I have a free call from
Jen for me.
an inmate at Pinellas County Jail.
I got charged for murder in the first degree.
Charged for murder in the first degree?
Yes, sir.
What charges did who did you kill?
I didn't do nothing. I was just there at the wrong time, at the wrong place.
Hello?
Hi, Mama.
Hello, Jeff. What's going on?
I'm in jail
Why are you in jail?
for murder in the first degree.
Who'd you kill?
I ain't killed nobody. Because I set everything up. It all went wrong, Mama.
The jury returned a guilty verdict, finding Me guilty of first-degree murder.
The jury found the defendant is guilty of murder in the first degree as charged.
She was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Why don't you go to the podium, please? The jury having found you guilty of murder in the first degree, Miss Me, I will adjudicate you guilty and sentence you to life in prison without parole. I'm ordering the 550 standard fines and court costs. You have 30 days to appeal. Okay?
Her co-defendants, Rayford and Newton, were also convicted of first-degree felony murder and received life sentences in prison. This is Aiden Fuji, appearing in court for the murder of his 13-year-old classmate when he was only 14 years old.
Having fun in a cop car. Yep.
Fuji was classmates with the girl from Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida, whom he stabbed 114 times. Her body was later found in the woods after Fuji's arrest. In a video, Fuji can be seen in the back of a cop car taking Snapchats. Another video shows Fuji and his parents in the interrogation room, where his father admonishes him.
Snapchat that you did, his number is
Like it's all over, you're all over the internet everywhere. This is serious.
This is very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
Prosecutors presented a video showing Fuji and the girl allegedly walking together shortly before she was murdered. About 90 minutes later, another video shows Fuji allegedly running away from the area where the body was found.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
After Fuji pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, the judge delivered his sentence.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
This is Dylan Shoemaker in a Buffalo, New York courthouse. He's at his sentencing after being convicted of second-degree murder. At age 16, Shoemaker was babysitting his girlfriend's child while she went to work. That evening, he was inside a Springville home that he shared with his parents. Later that evening, Shoemaker beat the 23-month-old child who died as a result of his injuries. Dylan Shoemaker would later be arrested and charged with the murder of the toddler, along with child abuse charges. Shoemaker was reportedly trying to get the child to stop crying. He claimed he never intended to harm the child or cause his death, but the jurors didn't buy it, and Shoemaker was convicted of second-degree murder. Watch closely as Shoemaker enters the courtroom. Before he can even get set up behind the defense table, he starts crying and apologizing.
I didn't mean to kill Oscar. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
When Shoemaker was awaiting his trial, he had a phone call with his mother, and the conversation ended up being recorded.
In a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and I got a quote from the court reporter, "I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me."
I can't take back what was done. I wish I could. I would give my life for Austin.
Shoemaker was later sentenced to the maximum punishment.
That you be sentenced to an indeterminate term of imprisonment, which will have a maximum of life. The court hereby imposes a minimum sentence of 25 years.
But that sentence was later modified to 18 years to life.